PD 957, Presidential Decree 957, which is the subdivision and the condominium buyers protective decree. Okay, so in terms of, well, from the title alone, it's easy to tell that this law is going to be about subdivisions and condominiums, okay? But another way of thinking about it, at least my preferred way of looking at PD 957, is to look at it as a sequel or a continuation of BP 220, okay? Because in terms of price points, PD 957 essentially functions as a sequel or a continuation now of BP 220. Kasi BP 220 covered the two parang cheapest price points, socialized and economic housing. And PD 957 covers the upper tiers, the two upper tiers in terms of price points, medium cost and open market. Open market is the most expensive level, and medium cost is the second most expensive. So yeah, one way of looking at PD 957 is as a sequel. And I always say this, the best time to study PD 957 is right after BP 220 kasi a lot of PD 957 really is parang very hawig dun sa BP 220. It's almost like you're reviewing BP 220. Okay? Anyway, let's begin now. It's two parts. The first part is subdivisions. The second part is condominiums. This is not going to be as long as BP 220 kasi nga halos pareho lang sila ng sinasabi in many places. What I'm going to focus on are the important differences and similarities between the two. Okay? So one important difference is that in PD 957, meron ng binibigay na ratio between the saleable and the non-saleable components of the subdivision. To be more specific, meron tayong siniset na maximum 70% for the saleable component and minimum na 30% for the non-saleable component. This applies only to PD 957. Now, if you recall sa BP 220, walang ganitong requirement. And just to recap, ano nga yung non-saleable areas in the subdivision? Tatlo yan, parks and playgrounds, community facilities, and the circulation system or the road system. Isa-isahin ulit natin just to check if they're required. Okay, so for parks and playgrounds, well, they're required, first of all, if the project is 1 hectare or bigger, which is, I don't know if you remember, pero ganyan din yung sa BP 220. There's also a table, just like in BP 220. Ito yung table. This table tells us ilang percent ng subdivision yung dapat gawing parks and playgrounds. The absolute minimum is 100 square meters, okay? Just like in BP 220. So ito yung table, depending on the density of the subdivision, nagbabago yung required size ng parks and playgrounds. For community facilities naman, just like in BP 220, dapat meron daw multi-purpose center if the project is 1 hectare or bigger. And this table, there's a table here, similar to BP 220, telling us which community facilities are required. And as per usual, based on, depending on the number of lots or houses there are in the subdivision, minsan maraming may X, minsan konti lang yung may X. Kapag may X, required. Okay, hierarchy of roads, similar to BP 220, depending on the size of the subdivision, merong prescribed hierarchy of roads. And meron din tayong road sizes. Okay, so sorry, the table is a little bit smaller than I would have liked, but the idea is the same here, no? Same as in BP 220, meaning yung minimum sizes ng roads, major, collector, and minor roads, hindi fixed. Sometimes the minimum is lower, sometimes it's higher depending on the size of the subdivision. So you want to study how the numbers change, but the one thing that I think is the most important to remember is ang major road, minimum size niya is 10. No, the value is never lower than 10. Starting value niya yung 10. For minor road, it's 8. Okay? The rest, they're in the table. Next, meron na ring planting strip and sidewalk requirement in PD 957. So depending on the size of the road, meron corresponding requirement for planting strips and sidewalks. And minimum lot areas, it depends on the price point and the house configuration. Unlike BP 220, hindi ito sinuproceed nung Eichler resolution. So this is still good law, itong portion na to ng PD 957. The minimum lot area required for single detached is 100 square meters for medium cost and 120 for open market. For duplex, it's 80 for medium cost and 96 for open market. For row house, 15 medium cost, 60 yung open market. A lot more simple than BP 220 now. Now, meron ding requirement for lot frontages. So again, it depends on the house configuration and the price point. Sa single detached, meron kang corner lot, 12 meters dapat yung minimum frontage. Pag regular lot, 10 meters. Pag interior lot, 3 meters. For duplexes, 8. And for row houses naman, 4 meters. Minimum frontages yan ng lote. And ito, very familiar dapat, same to as BP 220, the maximum length of one row house cluster is either 20 houses or 100 meters, whichever happens first. And also, ito rin, exactly the same, maximum length of a block is 400 meters. And dapat meron ding, meron ng alley down the middle once the block reaches a length of 250 meters. I know it says BP 220 there, no, dapat tinanggol ko yun. Pero, yeah, it's the same requirement kasi for both, so I recycled the illustration. Okay, minimum floor areas. Ito naman yung size ng shelter. Yung kanina area yun ng lote. Ito area ng shelter, ng bahay. Gaano kalaki. For medium cost, minimum floor area is 30 square meters and for open market, it's 42. Setbacks, just follow the building code. Okay, we are now covered by the building code. BP 220 lang yung exempted sa building code. Ang PD 957 hindi. So, setbacks, whatever is required by the building code. And then we get to the last part, which is the part about condominiums. For the minimum sizes of rooms in a condominium, just follow the building code. I'm sure you still remember that. I mean, I hope that you still remember. For example, habitable room, minimum 6 square meters. Toilet, 1.2 square meters in area, etc. Kitchen, 3 square meters. All of those apply to condominiums and must be complied with. Parks and playgrounds, ito condominium. No? Naglalagay ba dapat ng parks and playgrounds kapag condo yung project? Kasi kung subdivision, we already know it. We covered that a few slides back. Pero for condominiums, required daw pa rin magkaroon ng parks and playgrounds if the condo project has 10 condo units or more, or if the gross area is 1,000 square meters or larger. And obviously, most condo projects are going to meet this requirement. In other words, most condo projects are likely going to be required to provide parks and playgrounds. Okay, so the only way to be exempt from this requirement, say if you have more than 10 condo units, kailangan mo ng parks and playgrounds. The only way to be exempt is if there's a public park nearby, and when we say nearby, within 800 meters of the condo project. Kung walang malapit na public park and you have more than 10 condo units, then you have to have parks and playgrounds. Ang tanong na lang is, how big does this park need to be? And the answer is 50 square meters for 10 condo units is sufficient. If you have more than 10 condo units, then you have to increase yung 50 by 3 square meters for every additional unit beyond the first 10. What does that mean? Sample. You have 12 condo units. You have 12 condo units and there's no public park nearby. Okay? So, therefore, you need to have parks and playgrounds kasi more than 10 condo units ka, you have 12 eh. So, ang tanong lang is how big should the park be? For 12 condo units, the minimum size of the park is 56. Okay? Why 56? Kasi 50 square meters, enough na raw for 10 units, but we have 12 eh. So, meron tayong 2 extra units. And for each extra unit, you add 3. So 50 plus 3 plus 3 is 56. That's why 56 square meters in minimum for 12 condo units. As for roads, kung merong road system yung condo, or kung merong roads, most likely meron naman kahit driveway. Minimum road right-of-way is 8 meters, 6 meters of which will be for your carriageway, 2 meters for your sidewalk. Kung meron ka pang hierarchy of roads like complicated road system in a condo project, the same hierarchy used for subdivisions apply to condominiums. Okay, for the size of the condos, we have 2 types, no? Different kasi yung minimum area required for single occupancy condos and family occupancy condos. So for single occupancy condos, the minimum area required is 18 square meters. Okay? The only time na you don't answer 18 is kapag sinabing student condominium siya, in which case you can go as low as 12. Okay? But kung wala naman sinabing student, dapat 18. Now, for family occupancy condos naman, the price point matters. Okay, kung medium cost yung family condo, it's 22. 22 yung minimum area required. For open market, it's 36. And as for the minimum level of completion required, complete house. No, walang shell house na sinasabi ang PD957 laging complete house kasi after all, this is not low-cost housing anymore. So hindi pwedeng shell house. Dapat complete house lagi. There's a lot more to PD957 than what I covered here. A lot of it is repetitive eh. Parang inuulit lang niya yung BP220. So that's why I wanted to focus on talaga on the important similarities and differences between the two. Okay, pero I urge you to review PD957 in full.